know if you can see it live. All right, it says we are live. So let me see. I'm gonna share it, and then we are going to get started. Pastor Turgo, do you see the live? All right, I see it. We are live, saints. We are live. Praise the Lord. We got 5 people. All right, come on in, saints. So we're gonna start at 101 on the dot. We're gonna start at 101. Get the saints time to come in, get themselves together. What the saints say when they go on live? Come on in the room. Come on in the room.
Wait on a few more people to come
Right,
in.
we wait on the people.
And then you went real close to me. I can't see who it is. I need to see.
Yes, sir. Y'all come on in, speak to us, let us know where you're from. Stole that from Pastor Mario. But it's 101 on the dot. So we're gonna get started because I don't want to hold y'all long. Welcome to well, first off, let me introduce myself. I am K. Darnell Little II. Some of you know me as KJ. Some of you know me as Kelsey Jr. I am the president and CEO of Champion Connection, Inc., which is the sponsor of what you all have been known this week as Champion Conference. And I am the host of this conference and also the founder of this conference. And today we are bringing to you a panel discussion known as Church from a PK's View. And I have 3 amazing guests with me tonight. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves in the order that I see them on my screen. Therefore, we're going to start with Faith Dillard, then we'll start with Latavia Taylor, and then we'll end with my brother Mark Thomas. So Faith, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. And when you introduce yourself, let them know. You can let them know who your parents are and things of that nature, since this is a PK session.
Hello, everyone. My name is Faith Dillard. I am 18, and my parents are Bishop Linwood Dillard and First Lady Dillard.
All right, I am Elder Latavia Taylor. I am currently serving as the executive pastor of Fountain of Deliverance in Richmond, Virginia. Hey, my parents would be the late Bishop Lawrence L. Taylor and co-pastor Stephanie Taylor.
Yeah.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Mark Thomas Jr. I'm all the way from Portsmouth, Virginia. My home church is the New Community Temple Church of God in Christ under the wonderful leadership of my spiritual father and natural father, the Bishop Mark A. Thomas Sr., prelate of the first ecclesiastical jurisdiction of Virginia.
Hey man, this was good. Come on, PKs. These are Bishop's sons and daughters. Come on. I'm honored to be in y'all's presence. No, I'm joking, but we're gonna get right into the questions. So my first question is, and we can start with Faith. You can answer first. What has your personal overall experience been like as a PK?
That is a good question. My overall experience, I think, I wouldn't say bad, but it is a learning process, and it's a great learning experience because I'm getting older, so I'm learning more new things along the way. Yeah. That's it.
Elder Latavia.
I would say since we learned that I am the elder of the group, literally, it's had its challenges, and it's definitely had its rewards. I don't want to say anything negative about it. I wish that there was a manual that came with it. My father was not a preacher's kid, but my mother was. Her parents pastored 2 churches in New Jersey and Philadelphia when she was a child. So there were different things that she shared with us. Growing up, I'm the oldest of 5 children. There were different things that she shared with us, but I can tell you that the experience it's definitely been a challenge. Like, you just don't know if you go on there, if you're coming. Sometimes it's like, do I be this person or am I that person? It's a constant identity crisis. But overall, God is still good.
MJ?
Well, being that I'm basically in my family, I don't know, I'm like fourth or fifth generation PK, starting all the way with my great grandfather who founded this church, New Community Temple, Elder Clifton, and my grandmother, who was First Lady, late Mother Charlotta Thomas. She was also a PK. So I wouldn't say I'm used to the rhetoric that comes with being the PK, but like as my two sisters have said, there's ups and there's downs. You see your parents go through things and burdens that are on them, especially when they're pastors or first ladies. You see a lot of burdens on them, and so you kind of just pray that they'll do better in their tenure serving the people. But as for us, sometimes it's hard because you don't get that time that you always want. You don't get that time that you always want. So I would say I would agree with them that it's up and down. It's up and down. It's just one of those things. It's good days and bad days.
Definitely. I agree. Our next question, and I want MJ to answer this first, being that he comes from a lineage of preachers. Do you feel pressure to live up to the status or legacy of your parents?
Do I feel pressured? No, I do not. I say no because just how I was raised. I thank God for my parents. I thank God for my mother and father because nothing they taught me has failed or even fell to the ground or has came to me void. Every day is a learning experience with them. My father in particular is a man of wisdom. To watch him serve my grandfather the way he did, and just to see the humbleness, it just intrigued me, and it punctured my heart to want to serve him in that same vein. A few weeks ago, we had our East Region conference in the Church of God in Christ, and it was his last year because he has now taken on a new responsibility in the church. And I said the same thing that I'm saying to you now. I said that then. I told the people that what he did inspired me. And I'm not telling all the PKs that you got to be a preacher, because to truthfully be told, I did not want to be. And I still don't want to be honest with you. However, I do know that the Lord has called myself, and me picking my father's brain has given me confirmation that I am to walk in that calling. And I love my legacy. I love everything that my grandfather and my forefathers have left me. I love everything that the foundation holds, because it's nothing but prayer and nothing but seeking the Lord's face. And that's what we all have to do as PKs and even as individuals in the body of Christ. So to answer your question, I do not feel pressured. However, I am nervous. Praise ye the Lord.
Elder Latavia, you could go next.
I figured you was going to come over here to me. My original answer was going to be no, I don't feel pressured. But listening to him and listening to his story, there is a little pressure there. Because my father passed away this July of last year. And he was at the peak of his career in ministry and his life personally. There were just so many things that were going on. And unfortunately, cancer came in and took him out. So it's like there is this pressure to do and be and finish everything that he has started, because it was just like up there. There were so many things that we had on the table, so many things that we were doing. So there is a bit of pressure there to honestly keep it going, to keep what he has already started, to just take it to another level. So I would say, yes, there's definitely pressure.
Faith?
I wouldn't say I'm pressured into continuing the legacy, like I'm not pressured by my parents, but maybe my peers or, other outsiders, yes. For example, my parents, they don't say, you got to do this, you got to do that. They just teach us how to do media or teach us how to do hospitality, just things like that. I wouldn't say I feel pressured, but I do feel the load on my back, maybe from my peers than, from my family.
Right. That was a good answer. Before we go into the next question, I do want to encourage everybody again to like and share this experience with everybody. This is going to be great conversation with our amazing panelists, and we want as many people as possible to see this. Our next question is, do you feel as though you are always being watched or under the microscope? And does this affect your social life? Faith, we can start with you.
You did not have to start with me this time. I'm reading the question again. Is that all right? All right? Okay. Do you feel as though yes, I do. I wouldn't say it affects my social life, but you have to watch what you post and watch what you say. I'm very, very cautious of that all the time. Like sometimes I want to post something on Instagram, maybe it has too many explicit things, and people like to judge and talk like, oh, she's not saved and other things, but it's kind of hard because you still want to stay youthful, right, and you still want to stay godly as well.
Exactly. That was a really good answer. Elder Latavia, you can go ahead.
Yes. Yes. The first thing I wrote on here is trendsetter. I feel like personally, even though I don't really talk about different things, I do watch. I pay close attention. And I do see that some people tend to pick up things that I may do. Yes. And because I'm not a person that's chasing clout and worried about all that kind of stuff, I'm just be like, oh, you cute. I'm not even worried about it. You look good, honey. That's all I want to say. You look good. Do it better than I did it. So it's definitely a thing of us being watched and all that kind of stuff. But for me, being watched is, I'm a trendsetter. Do it better. God bless you. Does it affect my social life? Absolutely. It almost doesn't exist. I don't even have like a whole circle of, it's like, you see my fingers are already touching. Is that many people that's like in my close quarters that understands and gets me. I don't do too much socializing. Anymore, because now it's like you're not just PK, you're a pastor, so it's like everything is on a different level. So it has definitely taken my social life different, but it has also forced me to I don't want to say socialize, but it has forced me to get out of my shell and realize I do need to be around people who are like me. So it's not all bad.
Definitely. MJ?
I'm going to say yes to the first part of that question. One thing that my parents have always told me is that somebody is always watching you.
Always.
No matter what, and especially if you come from legacy. Somebody is always watching, whether they want to see you fail or succeed. They're always watching you. And so you have to carry yourself with integrity. I think that's a word that isn't really emphasized enough in the church. Integrity, being integral. I come from a long line of integral men, and so I carry myself in that way. Does it affect my social life? Yes and no, because I'm a social bug. I love to talk. I love making conversation. I love meeting new people. So I don't care if I am the son of the bishop. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna see how you doing. I'm gonna make conversation with you. I'm gonna laugh and joke with you. KJ know me. I mean, I'm sorry. Reverend Little knows me.
You're all right. You're all right.
Reverend Little knows me. And so
you're all right.
I literally I agree with everything that my sisters have said so far. It is literally just one of those things where you have to carry yourself in a manner where people can trust you without them watching you. So you got to always, say, be integral.
Where were you when I was growing up? Because I'm socially awkward, And I could have used a friend along my
Yeah.
journey.
Well, we're here
You know?
now. We're here now, and we can be friends now.
Because I could have used a friend. I didn't have a lot of PK friends. I didn't even know that was a thing, especially younger. We grew up with the church people. We grew up with a community church. We were in the heart of downtown Richmond and Jackson Ward. So the people that we were around were the people who came in from the streets, and there were people who came in from other churches, but we were not closely surrounded by other preachers' kids. So we didn't know that was a thing until, we came up. So it's like, now, okay, friend, hey, now we're together.
Right.
Yeah. Can I add something on that?
Yeah.
Brother Little, I want to say that, and I love the Church and God of Christ for this particular reason. The Church and God in Christ has afforded me to have lifelong friends.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God for that, because when I go to the conventions, I always meet somebody new. I never just see the same people and that be it. So I thank God for the Church of God in Christ, because it afforded me that opportunity, of course, to travel and go places, but to meet people, as she was saying, not having friends, that can hinder a PK. Especially being that their parents are busy, they don't have anybody they can turn to, talk to, pour into, or them pour into them, that friend pour into themselves. So, it's one of those things where I just thank God for that, because I've met so many people, and those connections actually have blessed me and afforded me an opportunity to best, do my craft and do the things that I love to do. So I thank God for that. So I understand where you're coming from, Elder Latavia. I do.
Mm-hmm. Another thing to add into that about what Elder Latavia is saying about having friends that are PKs. Most of my friends that are PKs, I didn't get a lot of PK friends until I came to college, because one, we became friends just knowing each other on campus or seeing each other around campus. And as we built those relationships, we began to find out your dad a pastor, your mom traveling preacher, and it's like, we found similarities within each other before we knew that we were both PKs or that we all were PKs. So it's like, I feel like there's a connection between us already. Like, we are interested in the same things. We basically kind of live the same lifestyle almost in a way. So I could say not until I got to college is when I gained most of my PK friends.
High school. You want to know how I found another PK?
How?
I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. You said be transparent, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I got in a fight with her. I promise you, I was playing volleyball in high school, and the girl came across there and punched me in my face. What I did to her, I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. Yeah. I told you I was older. She came across that volleyball field and she punched me in my face, and we were fighting. Next thing I know, they pulling me off her in the locker room. Our parents had to come to school and get us, and her mother was going up. I cannot believe you. You are a pastor's child. Yeah. And here come our parents, two ministers that know each other. I suppose we got in a fight, but we are still cordial to this day. We're not close.
Yeah.
But I met another preacher's kid. We got in a fight, and all is well.
She knocked the girl out.
Right.
She hit me first. I did not hit her first. I am not a fighter unless I have to. I don't know what happened. Maybe she was having a bad day, but the girl, she hit me. So it's fine.
See, that's the thing. People find out you're a preacher's kid and think you're a punk. However, they find out in other ways that that's not the case. I'm going to skip to one of our questions further down, because it kind of goes with this question I just asked about do you feel like you're being watched under a microscope? The next question is, how do you choose friendships? And then I'll go into the second part of that question after y'all answer it first. And we could start off with MJ. You can go ahead.
It's funny that you said that. How do I choose friends? I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little, even though I'm a social bug, I'm not friends with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Faith can tell you, and anybody else that I literally feel people out, and this, KJ. I feel people out before I befriend them.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I've been hurt, but you just gotta watch the people that surround you have to help you get to where you're trying to go.
Definitely.
And because of what I'm trying to do, if you are not going to be an asset to that, you're a liability.
Yes, sir.
And so I surround myself around people who can help me elevate.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean tell me what I want to hear, though.
Right.
I like friends that'll tell me, MJ, that tie is just not working today. MJ, that's just it's not working. I think you need to practice this. I need you, I like that because it lets me know that you care. You're not just trying to ride my coattail. You care about my appearance. You care about what I'm doing with my life. You care. And so that's how I choose friendships. I have two friends that I met again in the Church of God in Christ. We have been friends for 9 years. Wow. I grew up with a neighbor of mine that I don't even talk to anymore.
Yeah.
And me and him came through grade school together. So when you have people, and both of those guys are musicians, by the way. So both of them helped me have helped me get to where I am today and trying to get me further. When you surround yourself with people like that, greatness comes. Greatness, when you're feeding off of each other, it just blooms a whole bunch of ideas, a whole bunch of notions, all of that, all of those good things. You know what I'm saying? So once you have people around you that are, trying to get you where you need to be, that's when you got a good friend.
Definitely. Faith, you may answer next.
I agree with MJ. I just choose my friendships by like who respect me for me and not who my parents are, and just it's really a whole process and trying to find like a real true friend. I do have friends in the church, but my closer friends are outside of church, and they do. I want to say they respect me more than the church, but it's more comfortable, talking to them sometimes than other church friends. But from the inside the church, you keep it at a minimum and boundaries, but you still can talk, you still can hang, but it's just all about boundaries when it comes to my friendships.
Right. Elder Latavia.
I'm over here writing notes like I'm preparing for a sermon. But I will say that you need friends for different things. And I would say placement is how I choose. Who is a friend? Because I feel like we use that word friend a little loosely. But I feel like I have a friend that I can laugh with. I have a friend that I can cry with. I have a friend that I can really let my hair down with. I have a friend that I need for encouragement. And I have a friend for who I gotta I'm about to go in. As soon as they call and they know they're on speakerphone, just already prepare yourself because I'm getting ready to go slam in. And there's different people for different things. There are people who I can be vulnerable with in different levels. And then there are some people who I just I'm a little more surface with. I'm a little more reserved. So I definitely think it's a concern of placement. And that happened with being too friendly early on. Because I felt like I had to, because my parents were the pastors, I had to be nice and I had to have people in my space. But as I got older, I realized that I have the power to choose who I consider a friend, not because my family or my parents feel like those people should be my friend. Oh, you should be friends with so-and-so because they're going through something. I don't need any more friends. We're not connecting over trauma this year. Well, you need, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. We're constantly in ministry mode as preachers' kids. So our parents can see something going on with someone else. Oh, you should be friends with this person because they're going through. I'm going through too. I can't be a friend. You need somebody else. You need one of the ministers. Before I was a minister. So it's a different level of accountability now. Now there are certain conversations that I do not have with laity. So there are people who are honestly my friends who are outside of the church who I was just like, girl, let me tell you about this dress. That's not really what I want to say. But though there are the people who are my friends are the people who are on the outsides of the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Answer.
Definitely. I can agree. Also, like going into what Pastor Kenneth was telling me last night. He was like, watch who you connect yourself with, because the higher you go, the more people that want to connect with you. And I was just talking to Pastor Mario, because it's like so many people ever since I've started this journey with Champion Connection and things of that nature. People been coming out the woodworks trying to connect and be close. And it's like, one, where did you come from? Two, where were you before I was bringing in big names and things of that nature to Champion Conference? Where was you at in 2019 where we was at my church and I had all local people coming? Like, people, you got to test people's intentions. And that's why mainly the only like true like friends that I have within the church are my family members, like MJ, as many of you know, that's my cousin, but we more like brothers than cousins, is MJ and his brothers and our cousins. Like, outside of them, I really don't connect with that many people in the church, because we love the saints and we worship with them and we praise with them, but at the same time we know the saints too, because we know how the saints are. And it's just like, some people are looking for the next big thing or their next way of coming up, and if they can get their name out there by latching on to you and getting hooked up with you, or getting hooked up with Faith because of who her dad is, or getting hooked up with MJ because of who his parents are, it's like, are your intentions genuine? So that leads into the next portion of the question, which is, how do you discern between someone actually being a genuine friend or someone getting close just to be around your parents? And Faith, I'm gonna let you start this off, and then MJ, we can let you answer after Faith.
I'm gonna let MJ tell them first.
Okay, MJ, you can go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm ready for this one. I ain't gonna lie. This was the favorite.
Yeah.
This was my favorite one.
Hot.
This
Yeah.
was my favorite one. And I think Faith can honestly agree with me with what I'm about to say. I look at how, first off, I look at the parents of who it is that's, trying to be in our inner circle. How are you treating my parents first? Okay, because I'm gonna tell it like it is, because you know me. My dad is a great man of God, and I honor him. And a lot of people call him bro.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't call you uncle, you're not his bro, because you didn't do anything for me to call you uncle. I don't call everybody uncle.
Right.
And I'm using him as an example. I'm not gonna use myself right now, because I see a lot of people call him bro, and I've seen people stab him in the back for positions that he was actually ready for and prepared for. And to see people do that, and then you want me to reverence you as a family member, a term of endearment, a term of closeness. It's like, so when I look at that, that's how I determine my friendships with other people. Okay, if your parent is doing this, the apple don't fall far from the tree, Doc. I'm gonna be honest. The apple does not fall far from the tree. And so I get to know people for myself, of course. That's another thing. I do that. But sometimes you can just tell in somebody's demeanor and their disposition and how they approach you, the topic of conversations that y'all have. It's always, well, what do you do? It's never a back and forth thing. It's always a one-way street when somebody's trying to pick your brain. I've heard conversations with my father where people would pick his brain, and that's it. And after they pick his brain and got what they needed, they never talk to him again. I don't like that. I don't. I'm sorry. I got a little, because it's just irritating.
Yeah.
As a PK, you see these are one of the things that you see your parents go through when people manipulate the wisdom that they carry. And the things that they carry, they manipulate it and try to get it for themselves, but they don't treat it as a two-way street. It's always, I'm gonna come to the well. I'm gonna come to the well, thinking that the well needs water. The well needs water too. You got to put water back in the well. You know what I'm saying? There's always things that you have to do, bro. You can't. It's just, you know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get sidetracked, but that's just real. It's
That was
real,
good.
bro. It's the
Good.
real.
Good answer. Faith, are you ready now?
I'm ready. I agree on the part where MJ was talking about how as a PK, you just gotta be cautious of who you're around and who is real and who's not. Because if you're my quote unquote friend and all we talk about is what my mom wear or what my dad does, one time I got a message talking about how's your dad? Well, how am I doing? How am I doing first? How am I doing first? So it's like, do you want a relationship with me?
Yeah.
Or my parents?
Mm-hmm. That was good. Elder Latavia, I'm sure you have a lot to say.
I have a story. No, I'm just
Go on, story.
I do have. It's not a real. Well, it is a story. So let me be careful as I say this. I asked questions. One time, there was a situation that I had experienced, and the young person told me that that they connected to me because I looked good for their image, and I couldn't do anything but respect it because they told me the truth.
It was honest. Yeah.
Honest. He said, I wanted to date you, and I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there because I ain't with him now. Shout out to my yeah. So anyway, he that's what he said to me. He said, I wanted to date you because you look good for my image. He said, you are Bishop Lawrence Taylor's daughter, and that's gonna take me somewhere. I said, oh wow, I can't do nothing but respect you for that. I can't do nothing but respect you for that. You told me the truth. It was up for me. It was up to me to take it or leave it. I left it. I left it, and I left it quickly. But I think that you need that experience. You need those type of situations so that it can help heighten your discernment when it comes to different types of relationships as you grow older. And it's okay to ask questions. You got to ask, why are you here? Who connected to me to connect to my father because they wanted a church. My father planted churches all across the East Coast. They connected to me. They connected to my siblings. They connected to the family because they just knew that he was going to send them out to preach. And the thing about to preach and to pastor church, the thing about how my father pioneered churches is that he sent them with money and he sent them with a building. So that was prime opportunity. Somebody's going to give you a place, a pulpit, equipment. You know what I'm saying? Somebody out there sending you with fully furnished churches. Oh, that's an opportunity of a lifetime. So we dealt with that. So for me growing up with my strong spirit of discernment, I walk up to you. Why are you here?
Right.
With my straight face. How can we help you? And if I pick it up and I'll realize, I'll go to Dad, this is not right. And he'll say, well, I'll pray about it. Then it turned out I'm right. I'm glad we prayed. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it is good to have those experiences because it helps you grow and it helps you mature. And you can't push everybody away. So you have to take those bumps in the road.
Elder Latavia, we need more PKs like you. The next question,
if you want that.
My next question is, what are the difficult parts of being a PK? I'm sure we could talk about this for an hour in itself. My God. But we're going to start off with Elder Latavia. We'll let you start off.
When you say difficult, where are we going with this?
I don't know. Whatever the Lord puts on your heart.
I would say you don't really get a lot of downtime unless you're one of those preachers kids that just don't do anything in the church. I was the choir director. I was working in the youth department. I was an usher. I drove the van. I worked in the kitchen. I did it all. I even cleaned the bathrooms. Like, people don't know that part of the story. I cleaned the bathrooms. I worked in the church. And I've honestly worked in the church since I was 15 years old. That was one of my first jobs as the church secretary. So it was, you kind of had to fill in wherever, even though you can have a large church, that don't mean you have a lot of people who want to work. So that was a difficult part. And my parents were constantly, they were busy. Our church grew substantially in a very short amount of time. So my siblings and I, while our family has always been very, very close, there were times where we really had to, and not in a negative sense, we did have to fend for ourselves. And it's not that our parents were doing anything wrong. They were doing what they knew to do. They were doing what they could do. And they were young. I tell my mother all the time, we grew up together. We literally did. They were young having children.
Wow.
So they had to put a lot of time into the ministry. So a difficulty was that we really had to fend for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of, it's either you took the initiative to do certain things or you didn't.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Faith, you want to answer next?
I would say the difficult parts of being a PK is, especially young, and I just turned 18, but yeah, as you know, growing up, like sometimes you have to miss out on that party, or you have to miss out on that basketball game. You know, you may feel left out when sometimes you just can't, go with your friends, or you just want to stay home. You can't do that all the time.
Right.
Like, we had a conference one time. I didn't get home probably 12:30 a.m. in the morning. School the next day. Just tired, but no complaints at all. But those are the sacrifices. Those are the sacrifices. Those are the sacrifices that come with the difficulties of being a PK, and as well as maybe dress code. Maybe like at AIM, I can't wear jeans.
Right.
Always in a skirt or always in a dress. So yeah, that's all I have on top of my mind right now.
MJ.
We can stick on the topic of sacrifices, because I think that's the main thing that PKs suffer, is just sacrificing so much. If you have a parent that is a pastor, bishop, apostle, anything of a stature that requires a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of prayer, a lot of all of those things that actually confines them in the church building most of the time. They're rarely home.
Mm-hmm.
If you have somebody that's like that. So, I think for me, the hardest part is dealing with the members. And people call it, I'm gonna call it like it is, man, because it hurts me when I see it. And I see my parents care for the members. They cry over the members. They intercede. They do what they're supposed to do, shepherd.
Yeah.
They shepherd over the members, and sometimes when they don't get the necessary honor that is due back to them, it hurts me.
Yeah.
Because here I am. They could be, the time that they spend praying about your ailment and all of those things, he could be at my recital.
Mm-hmm.
He could be taking me to go suit shopping.
Yeah.
Literally, we had an event. I'm just gonna say this and I'm done. We had a thing where I had bought a suit recently, and he loved it. And he was like, man, I really want to take a trip, and let's go down there. But he couldn't because he has responsibilities. He said, we got to find some time. But one thing I praise God for is that my father always finds time to spend time with his children. Even in the midst of interceding on everyone else's behalf, he finds time to be at my stuff, to be at my brother's stuff, he drove my brother Evan to in the mountains and missed I think he missed like a Thursday night service or something like that. Drove Evan to the mountains where they had the course recital for all state. And that was probably the greatest thing he ever done. To me, that was superhero, because I know my dad is not like that with heights. So, I think the hardest part is sacrificing that time when they intercede on everyone's behalf and you can't spend that quality time with them.
Yeah.
It's hard. Sometimes I want to pick my father's brain, but I can't do that because he has to intercede on your behalf. But you ain't respecting him. That's just, it don't sit right with me. It don't sit right with me. I'm gonna leave it at that, but it just don't sit right with me. Praise God.
Oh my gosh, that was great. All of y'all gave really great answers. being that I'm a PK, and both of my parents are actually PKs. My mother's father was a bishop, and then my father's father was a pastor as well. And now my father is the pastor. And the one thing that I can say that is difficult about being a PK is that, and all of you will be able to relate, is that it is a ministry nonstop. Church can be over by 2 or 2:30, but church ain't over for you. You know, when you get to the dinner table, the restaurant, after you're in the car, it's still going to be church because ministry is what you do. And in a way, it becomes the family business. So in a way, when people are upset that the pastor's daughter or son is working in this position or is working in this area, it's like we in this nonstop, and our parents know that if anybody can get the job done, we can, or if anything, they know that they'll be able to oversee what it is that we're doing. With other people, I mean, you can't really dictate that much of what they do, but it's like with us, they know that the job is going to get done well, and then we're with them all of the time. So that's the one thing that's difficult for me, is that it's ministry nonstop, to the point now I got my own ministry in a way with this nonprofit, and it's like now that's another thing that is nonstop for me. So that's another thing. That's why it's great and it's very imperative to create a balance, because I have seen, and MJ can relate, I have seen family members that have just been, that are young and are just so churchy and just so heavily minded. Like the Bible say, don't be so heavily minded that you're no earthly good. And they're so churchy and just so like into church that they can't even relate with their peers, with their friends in school and things of that nature. So that's why it's very imperative to create a balance, but also still have that thing about you that people know that there's something different about you. Like they shouldn't be shocked when they found out that you're a preacher's kid or that you're in the church. It should be like, oh, okay, I can see that, or I believe that, or I'm not shocked. But if they like, oh wow, I'm shocked because you out here with us partying every night, going to every party, and I'm not going to promote doing things of that nature, but still enjoy your youth. Don't try to grow up faster than what you have to, because I've seen pastors' children try to grow up faster and be deep because they've been told that they're the next one or anything of that nature. And now look at them. But it's like, that's the one thing about it. MJ, stop laughing. That's the one thing about it, about being a PK, is that it's ministry nonstop. So that goes into my next question that says, what are the perks of being a PK? And Elder Latavia, you can start with that one. What are the perks of being a PK?
I wanted to say Gucci shoes, but I didn't get a pair yet.
Gucci, me neither.
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting. Pastor Taylor, I hope you logged on.
Right.
They don't have to be Gucci. I like Jimmy Choo, Christian Louboutin, anything in that area. So the perks, I'm pretty sure there are some, but I can't think of nothing at this second. What are the perks? I mean, usually we're the first ones to get fed at church functions, but that's started to change. I don't know. I can't think of anything. The blessings of the Lord, those are the perks. The blessings. I just said the blessings of the Lord are the perks. I ain't worried about man. The blessings. That's my answer. That's all I got is the blessings of the Lord. I got nothing else.
Let me say this. I'll give an answer before I forget it, because I'm very forgetful. The one thing, and Faith and MJ are coaches, but my district and my jurisdiction, each year during our district meeting, we would have, or our district conference now that we call it, we would have a thing. I think it was on like Thursday or Friday. And the pastor's aide president from each church would give each pastor pounds. We don't do pounds nowadays, but pounds is basically like they give you toiletries, they give you groceries, laundry detergent, and things of that nature. Let me tell you something. That was my favorite night of the district. I'm like, we going home stocked up the night. Pounds, and then another.
You making me remember. See, I don't know about the adult perks, but now we did have that pound. You get some bread, you get the good cereal.
Yes.
So yeah, we did have the pound, and the pastor's aide would give. One time they gave all of us, all of my siblings, watches. The behind it, I'm not gonna tell that, but that was really, really nice. It was a really nice gift. But that pounding, and we had my brothers are gonna get me. We had a housekeeper, so somebody washed and folded our clothes. So yes, that was a perk. I wish she was here now, but yeah.
MJ, you could go here. I'm sure you got a lot to say.
Well, let me tell you something. Growing up under Bishop Ted Thomas, when them jurisdictional meetings came down, let's just say I left full spiritually and naturally. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, bro, like the people, and this, it goes back to saying respecting your leader and honoring your leader and just doing, because it's a blessing in giving, man. Bishop taught us that it's a blessing in giving. But when they would give, those the Pepsis, the Coca-Cola. I mean, bro, we did not have to go grocery shopping for that whole month. Do y'all hear me? Like, I'm so serious. My dad, he wasn't superintendent, but he was assistant superintendent, so he would get some things. But my grandfather was, the jurisdictional prelate. So after we would load the truck up, Bishop, we going to your house. We going to your house to eat. And he ain't gonna do nothing but say yeah, because he love to see you eat. But I tell you, man, I thank God for that, because it was truly a blessing. I love when the saints give, and they give cheerfully. Amen. Praise God. Not because they have to, but they give cheerfully and with a smile on their face. And at that point, for me, it's like double honor, or mandatory for me to show you love, bro, because you're loving on my grandfather, on my father, because you don't know what I sacrificed, but because you're giving to them, I got to give to you. I got to give you some love, man. So I'd say that what you said, bro, that was the nail on the head right there. You hit the nail on the head right there, bro, because my God, I left full.
MJ, I got another one for you. This is a perk of being connected or related to the Thomases. Them dinners and the receptions after convocation and workers meeting.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. So I'm gonna tell y'all one story, and then I'm done. I ain't trying to take up your time, baby. Literally, what was that? One day gospel feast. We call it one day convocation. It's a thing where we meet quarterly. In the year, and we meet at the beginning. The beginning of the year, but it's basically quarterly. So we meet, and we had this one big. It's like everybody in their class, all that stuff, and literally afterwards, they set it up like not the Met Gala, but like it's a grand ball, bro. Like it's just they make that gymnasium over there look like I'm talking about. We at a banquet that. And literally, like the family, we get fed first. First family always gets fed first. Then the district missionaries and so forth and so on. Then the people. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you a guest of ours, not only would Bishop give you food, but he'll give you some money. If you drove, he give you some money. Bishop was just a nice man. I think that was one of the blessings. I feel like one of the perks of being the PK is that when we gave, we received as well. The best perk to me was giving, because we always gave. We always had our friends come in. So I think that was probably the best perk for me of being a PK, being able to give my friends something to look forward to when they come. You know what I'm saying? It was just a blessing.
Definitely. Look, MJ Davin in the comments saying, yes, sir, he knows all about that.
Because he knows. He knows. Every time he comes.
He knows.
It's the party, Doc. It's a party.
Faith, you can answer. Once again, I'll repeat the question for you again. What are the perks of being a PK?
I would say the perks of being a PK is just the networking and being active and being able to find different friendships. Like at AIM, International AIM, you can find anybody over the world. And another fun thing is, my dad is the AIM chairman, so we get all these snacks and goodie bags and everything. So that's a big one. Like Elder Latavia said, the eating first.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a good one.
Yeah. Those were really good. That one was an easy one to answer. We could think of a couple of perks. My next question is my screen just cut off. Bear with me. Tell us one of your funniest moments in church. Elder Latavia, we could start with you because you've been having stories galore today.
Another story. Are you talking about a personal funny moment? Okay, I got one. This is the first thing that came to mind when I read this question. One time we were in church, and I mean, they were praising the Lord. And if you've been to my church, the middle aisle, I came out of the middle aisle, walked to the back of the church to go around, to go out. I don't know why I was going out. I don't know what I was doing. But my father came out the pulpit, came to the side, and told me to go home and change my clothes. My skirt was too short in the back.
Oh, my Lord.
Because the way it was set up, everyone could see him walk out and follow me out the door. And he told me to go home and change my clothes. That was probably the most embarrassing. It was the funniest. It was the most humble situation. I ain't had that problem again. But he sent me home in the middle of morning worship to change my clothes. That was literally the funniest thing that I have experienced since.
Jesus.
But that's the one that I can remember.
Faith, you could go ahead.
I think one of the funniest moments I had in church was I work with the praise dancers, so I choreograph for them. Y'all get what I'm saying.
Choreograph. Yeah, we know what you mean.
And we was dancing. I was in the aisle, and I was twirling, and I got dizzy, and my foot hit the seat, and I just fell. And I had to play it off like I was just in the spirit. I was hurt.
Jesus. Oh, my Lord. MJ?
Reverend, I got so many stories about Virginia 1.
What?
I love. Hey, listen. Let me tell y'all something. For all my Virginia 1 family that's watching out there, I love y'all and I miss y'all so much. I cannot wait till we get back to being able to be together again. But the funniest one had to be a jurisdictional workers meeting, and we were playing. We was in the middle of a whole praise break, and it's this one gentleman in our jurisdiction that the way he stops a praise break, it just irritates my soul. I gotta be honest.
MJ, don't you start nothing on this live.
So, me being me, I know I got the musician side and I got the PK side and stuff like that, and I'm working on the ministry side as well. But the musician side of me was just like, listen, the people are dancing, and y'all cannot just stop this praise break. This mother is going ham. I'm talking about trying to get her a full deliverance. Boy, he started singing, "Yes, Lord." So I waited, and I started to click track again. And Bishop had to come over there and rebuke me in front of everybody. And I went into the hallway and I cried because I was just like, "But Bishop, she was dancing." He's like, "Don't you ever do that. We trying to raise this offering. What's wrong with you?" I would tell you something. The funniest moments is when you get rebuked, bro. That's really what it is.
Lord.
The funniest moments be when you get rebuked, man.
My Lord. I can say one of our funniest moments, because we still bring this up often, and mine is a Virginia #1 story as well. It's actually an official day. And it was the worst 3 people in the balcony to see, because we could see everything. It was me, MJ's brother, Aaron, who was like my ace, and then our cousin Kia. All 3 of us was in the balcony. I mean, and we had a time that official day. And this was during the time where Bishop was still over Maryland's jurisdiction as well. So their supervisor was there, because I remember this vividly. And they were like going up, they were shouting, like they couldn't stop the praise break and everything. I even think we like closed with like on the praise break on a high note. And there was a lady who was literally like, we had a really good view of her in the balcony. And lady was shouting and praising God. The man, Bishop, he's now a superintendent, but Bishop had called him up there, and he prophesied. He has an anointing to prophesy. And he started prophesying to this lady about her having cancer and all that type of stuff. It was a wonderful prophecy. And of course, the church went up into an uproar. However, with her being the one that he was prophesying to, everybody was looking at her. Let me tell y'all something. She was a nice looking lady too, very nice looking. However, this lady got the dancing, she got the shouting and going wild and bucket, and her wig came right on off.
I know it.
Her wig came right on off. And what made it worse is that everybody was looking at her because she was the one that was being prophesied to. When I tell you, we was in that balcony cutting up. And she was a nice looking lady. And let me tell you something. She has a level of confidence I aspire to have. Because let me tell you something. That lady showed up for night service in the same outfit and the same wig. She was confident. We knew it was her, but
confident.
I still aspire to have her level of confidence. But that's one of our funniest moments in church. We still bring that up to this day. My next question, and this we are almost near our closing time. In what ways do you try to keep your parents hip or current or relevant? We can start with Faith.
Are you saying like in just keeping it alive?
Yeah, like keeping them hip, current, like up to date with like what's the latest trends, like making sure they don't stay like they aren't outdated or anything of that nature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna bust them out, but you know, my mom, she likes to, stay youthful. So maybe my sister would teach her a little, TikTok or listen to this song, listen to this, listen to that, stuff like that. But with me, I would say sometimes I do broadcasts, and some people think, oh, you sound just like your mom. So sometimes, I speak for the announcements, and they say I look like my mom. So I help them out with that sometimes. And sometimes I do hospitality. And like the other night, I helped my mom pack some bags for our women's conference late at night. Yeah.
That's good. MJ?
I think for me, being that me and my father are both musicians, my father was a bass player before he became anything else. And one of the things that we really, really, really connect on, and I keep him hip on, is just, the latest gear. Sometimes we'll listen. Now, don't y'all get mad at me and the Bishop, but we music heads at first. So we'll listen to some D'Angelo, we'll listen to some Nick Condition. Because the Saints is
right. The Saints,
the deep Saints.
Bishop?
He listening to that. No. He's a music head. We both music heads.
Right.
And so we'll listen to some Jacob Collier. Just keeping him hip on what's new. His favorite art or producer rather is Quincy Jones, and his favorite gospel artist is Walter Hawkins and stuff like that. So we connect on things old and new. I think that's one of the great connections that I have with my father outside of the church. We connect on music very heavily with my mother. I talk to her more so about relationships, Ma, how do I treat a woman? Like, what should I do? And she'll tell me what my dad did and what she think I should do. So, and she'll, we'll watch, what's the lady name? Van Zant, Liana Van Zant or something like that. We'll watch some of her videos together, or we'll watch some of the relationship YouTubers together sometimes. And she'll be like, well, I just don't think, just giving opinions, but it keeps them in the loop of what's going on today and how we as millennials and Generation X and stuff like that, we think, Generation Z, we think, what I'm saying? We just, and all of that stuff. I'm done talking, cuz.
Elder Latavia.
I don't. I do not try. I do not try.
Thank you for the honesty.
Her mother, I don't know if she's watching. I don't try to help my mama. She don't listen.
Oh my Lord.
Sis don't listen.
Oh my Lord.
I said, Mom, did you check your email? No.
See,
Can you log on to the Zoom? No. I'm not helping her. I'm not helping her.
Yeah.
The answer is no. I do not try to keep her hip. She is not interested, and I'm not gonna force her. I love her to life, but she not. If you gotta be willing, you gotta be willing.
Right.
You ain't willing to learn it. She'll say help me, and then she'll walk away because she's starting to do something else. That means you want me to do it. You're not trying to learn.
Yes.
The answer is no.
See, being that my dad works in the school system, and in the school system that he works with middle schoolers. So I feel like in a way they do the job for me. They keep him hip for me. And then I have a younger brother who's a middle schooler as well. So I feel like they do it for me. Now in the areas of church, I feel like the way I keep my dad hip is like let him know like who's popping or trending at the time within the church realm or church world at the time. But other than that, my dad does a pretty good job of staying relevant. I can't tell him that he's not young or that he that he doesn't he's not up to date with the latest trends or fads. So he does pretty well. My mom, I keep her hip when it comes towards technology. Like yesterday, she texted me, she's like, I know you got your conference and all, but how do I connect this Apple Watch to the iPhone? Like when it comes to technology, that's what it is with my mom, keeping her hip with that. And then my grandmother, I'll mention her because she is the church that my dad's the pastor of. She is the founder's wife. So she always lets us know that she will forever be the first lady since she is the founder's wife. So I keep her hip well. Almost like Elder Latavia said, I just don't. You got to have a level of patience with the older saints when it comes to technology. My dad is in the comments. He told some bless your chairman. But when it comes to my grandmother, I try to teach her how to do certain things. Because I'm like, I'm not going to be here forever. Like, I live in Atlanta now for school. And I'm like, I'm not going to always be here when you need to get on Zoom or do something for your Kojic class or something like that. I'm not going to always be here. And she's like, you just do it for me. I'll just get somebody else to do it when you're not here. And I'm like, look, I'm trying to help you be dependent. And you want us to do it for you. But so with her, it's a little bit harder. But so yeah, then my mom is just technology, and then my dad, he does a pretty good job for himself. So I really don't have that problem with them. We are at 1 hour max, so I'm gonna do one more question, and then we're gonna close. And I'm gonna let MJ answer this one first. Has a member of the church ever tried to get you in trouble? Come on, MJ.
Oh, mighty God. Truthfully, I don't think the intentions were that, but yes, I've gotten in trouble. First of all, let me just say, I'm the eldest. I failed to mention that. I'm the eldest, as y'all can see, I'm junior, but I'm the eldest of 4 boys. It's all boys in our house. My mother is the only one that is a female in the house. And, you know, it's hard to kind of just try to like, I don't know, just it's hard to try to like keep that PK, you know, oh, I'm just gonna be so perfect today, and you know, no, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm the baddest one out of the group.
Thank you for
I got the most beatings.
Thank you for
I was the one. I wanted to test out the logic. You know, I was the curious child. I wanted, so if this happens, if I do this, what is going to happen? You know, but I don't think when I did do what I do, I'm not going to say what I did, but when I did do what I did, the member just let my parents know. I don't think she was trying to get me in trouble. I just think she was trying to let them know what I did. I was in children's church when I did it, and you know, I was bad, man. I was bad, but thank God for grace. Amen. And mercy.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't try to get me in trouble, but I guess you could say they did.
Mm-hmm. To piggyback off of MJ, like I mentioned before, we're cousins, so and then we're in the same jurisdiction as well. And many of convocations growing up, I would stay at their house. And the one thing that I did not like, and Aaron is in the comments, so he could agree with this. I used to hate. So we now looking back on it, we might have been in the wrong. But I just couldn't like, hate is a strong word, but I just could not like when the saints would feel that they were obligated to snitch that we was walking in church or in the gym. I'm like, your mind should be on the Lord and the service at the time. Why are you worried about us walking?
Why are you back there? Huh? Why are you back there?
And let me tell you something. If your mom or somebody would come back there, let me tell you something. We would scatter like roaches when you turn the lights on.
That Mother Thomas, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I thank God for Mother Charlotta Virginia Clifton Thomas, because I'm gonna tell you something. She would walk with a swiftness. I'm talking about haste, making haste. Dot. I'm talking about making. Now y'all better get hard G, get y'all down on this front. I mean, I tell you, Mother Thomas was good for that. I'm talking about for her sons and her grandchildren and those who attended the jurisdictional functions and church. She did not care who your parents were.
No. Faith, you can answer next. I'll repeat the question for you. Has a member of the church ever tried to get you in trouble?
No, I don't think so. Not recently, but maybe as a child, be like, oh, she talking too much, or she going back to the bathroom too much. And maybe like in you walking from a Wi-Fi, oh, they inbox, oh, I seen Faith, or I seen Trey with their group of friends walking the street.
Yeah.
We just coming from a Wi-Fi, we're not doing nothing else. Yeah, that's about it.
Elder Latavia, I'm sure your stories are from way back when.
You know, that's fine, because I remember. Let me tell you something. I am walking in my truth in this year. I have a story from way back when. I probably won't no more than about maybe 15 or 16 years old. And while I don't think the person was trying to get me in trouble, but they were not trying to not get me in trouble.
See, yeah.
And I'm gonna tell the truth, and I hope they're watching. The person went and told my parents that I said I like smoking cigarettes or smoking or something like that. And the family, all these people came in and they had a church meeting about it. Had a meeting with my parents in the office, and the girl was going off. Yes, you did tell me. You did tell me. I was like, I never told you that. Yeah. I never told you that. Now I remember what the conversation was, but how they twisted the story is not. It definitely was not me smoking. It was a conversation that I thought I was having with a friend. You know, I later learned that the pew was not my friend. That's a story for another day. Y'all should take that for a sermon. She went and told my parents that I said I like smoking, and that's not what I said. So they had a meeting, and it was like this whole situation. I got in trouble, and I'm just sitting there like, I know goodness well this girl did not just sit here and lie on me like that. But that was what happened. So after that, my life definitely changed. I stayed out of trouble a little bit. You know, I ain't get in trouble around the pews the same after that. But yeah, I don't know if she did it on purpose, but I know I got in trouble. That's what it was.
She did it on purpose. A whole meeting, that was on purpose.
Meeting.
That was definitely on purpose. We can't hear you muted, Elder T. There you go.
I told y'all don't leave me here with technology. I don't know how to work nothing. But for real, it was a whole group meeting about this, and I was just like, okay, Lord, this is what it is. But it's good. It's all good. God bless you, girl.
Somebody to come and tell some this same thing. Mom.
Tyler is dumb.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna tell y'all
God.
something. The Saints love them good meeting, Doc. They love it.
Yeah,
Pastor, can I talk to you about your child?
Listen, they love a good meeting when it's not about them, when it's not concerning what they doing.
Exactly.
But that's another topic for another day. This was good. In the words of MJ, this was gold. This was gold.
It was gold. It was gold, Doc. This was gold.
I really enjoyed having all three of you with us. We got a really good support system in here. We had a good number of people in here the entire time. This is really good. We're gonna have to do this again if y'all schedule permit. Does anybody have any last final statements or anything? Anybody? No other ones. All right. In the church, like we say, if all hearts and minds are clear, uh, we would definitely encourage you to join us tonight for our closing session of our conference at 6 p.m. Whether you can join us physically here in Richmond or virtually on our Facebook and YouTube page, Champion Connection Inc. on both of those platforms. We will be live tonight. If you cannot join us in person, our speaker will be none other than Pastor Darren Farmer Sr. from Baltimore, Maryland. And then our special musical guest will be Brian Hill and the Providence Singers from the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. If you aren't doing anything, hang out with us, join us tonight. It's definitely going to be a time. If you do plan to join us, physically, Elder Taylor, I know y'all address by heart now. 3800 East Broad Rock Road, Richmond, Virginia. You can join us in person tonight if you are free or close or in the surrounding areas of the Richmond, Virginia area. We would love to have you with us at Fountain Church. They have done a wonderful job of hosting us this weekend thus far. So yeah, if you aren't doing anything, join us virtually. If you can't join us physically, service will be starting at 6 p.m. And we would love to have you. I hope you all enjoyed this panel as much as I did. I enjoyed it. It was so good. It was great energy, great questions and answers. This was wonderful. We're definitely going to have to do this again if the Lord says the same. So I hope you all enjoyed it. MJ, you got something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for allowing us to be here. I didn't get a chance to say this, but I thank you for the invitation. I want to thank Champion Connection for allowing us to collaborate. As Elder Latavia, you got a new friend now. Mark Thomas Jr. is your new friend. I actually know your brother because he played drums. Pastor Taylor, he plays drums. Yeah, so I know your brother from that RVA area, the Richmond area. So I'm definitely gonna stay connected with you. And
he actually brought you up last night, MJ.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he did. When he got up, he looked at me. I know one of y'all. He said, "Do one of y'all brothers play the drums?" And he was like, "Yeah."
He preached, mighty God. He preached last night.
Let me tell
God
you,
Almighty.
My God. But
mighty God. Yes,
this is great. This is great. And we shall do it again if the Lord says the same. Thank you all once again for joining us. Once again, I'm Kay Darnello, the second president and CEO of Champion Connection Inc. And I thank you for joining us today.